I think it's important you surround yourself with like-minded people. The average person does not realize this, that we don't complain.
You suck sometimes. And I'm like, man, I'm a great businessman. It's like, no.
What's something you wish people knew about you?
Oh man, it's tough. Like I said, I'm pretty transparent. We had our first kid and then she found out we're having twins and she cried when she was gonna tell me. And
forgive yourself is such a powerful statement, especially for men.
To me, like I've told my team, the business needs nothing to me. If I can't be the man or the dad or the husband that I need to be.
I think it's important you surround yourself with like-minded people, which I can notice with you. You have a great team. Everybody that's here like-minded and protecting your circle and understanding that you guys are all going after the right thing, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So
it's key. I think the last few years I started to protect my environment more than my money. Money is going to come and go. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm definitely not saying I figured it out and I got unlimited. None of that. It's more of like whether I feel it's their fault, my fault, I just take responsibility and always bring it up to me and say, okay, they screwed this up and I feel like everybody's failing me. They're failing me because they didn't have a clear process for me. They didn't have the tools that they needed to succeed in the way I wanted them to, so it's my fault. And then when it's my fault, I can't just be a bitch about it and cry. I got to fix it. And then it goes away.
That's the thing about high achievers, right? The average person does not realize this, that we don't complain. So everybody thinks it's okay, right? So those of us that are around us, oh, he's good. Oh, look at him. He's driving a Urus. He's got this. He's got that truck. His business. He's got it all, right? But they don't realize that the high achievers aren't complaining. It's a competition amongst the average. They love to compare their drama. Oh, that's going on with you? Well, I got this going on. And it's like a competition, whose life is worse and whose life is harder. But your answer is great, because the best thing to do is to go home to kids that are running to the door. Daddy, your wife is always going to put us in check. Here's the thing I've learned, is that especially men and women are different.
I thought it was just mine.
No, not at all. I mean, here's the thing. Men and women are different in the capacity that I think that when men are going through something difficult, we go inward, right? We tend to destroy ourselves because that is a layer of protection against everybody around us, because we feel like it's our responsibility to protect everybody. So I'm not going to destroy everything around me. I'm going to go inward, and I'd rather destroy myself. But women tend to destroy the things that are outside of them, not in a bad way, but that's just how they're wired. They like to get it out. That's why when women go out, they love to talk. They like to talk about everything, right? Like I had a friend going through something, and then, you go out with him, and you come home, and your wife is like, oh, what did he say? Well, I don't know. We didn't talk about that.
Forgot to talk about it.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. What are you talking about? We didn't talk about that. We watched the game or whatever it was, right? And like, what do you mean? But if she goes out with her girlfriends,
it's going down.
That's all they're talking about, right? So we're wired differently. I think that especially in marriage, Alex, it's great that you have a great business, and I think it's almost a requirement to have a great woman next to you, because they will be the most honest person to tell you things. And we have to find a way to, quote unquote, my wife and I were talking about this yesterday, not get butthurt by the honesty.
It's tough. It's tough.
When you come home stressed, you snap.
It's tough, man. And like I said, it's tough to be able to take that criticism, especially from them, because it's like it's just so much easier to snap back. And like I said, it's tough, but it's just reality. It's helped me become a better person overall, just at least in my marriage. Like I had a lot of the business stuff figured out. I always will figure it out, all that. I think I come to the point where I'm going to figure it out. But when it comes to, like I said, as a person, like I said, women, they roll different. And I think my wife has played a big part till this day on, helping me build that person inside of me stronger. Just look at things different. Honestly, the biggest goal for 2025 for me is rebuilding myself as a person, as a human being. And I think, she's pushed me to do that. And it's hard some days, man. It's hard. It's tough, letting her tell you that you suck sometimes. And I'm like, man, I'm a great businessman. It's like, no. When you walk in the door, that shit, we don't give a shit about that. And it's the hard truth that sometimes, like, man, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's like, you still suck as a person. Like, you didn't give me a hug. And I'm like, what? I made it a point, man. I think, and it's for myself. I want to do for myself. I just want to be the best I can be. Man, I've done it in little increments. That has been the thing that's helped me develop my businesses more, believe it or not. Like when I met her, I was all business books, all this, all business, like all money. And it's like nothing would fucking click. And her, she got me into reading like personal development books. The one book she got me to, I don't even think she pushed me to read. It was just like, I started to like it. And Tony Robbins, I read that book and it just changed. Like I feel like I woke up and I started developing myself, and then everything, all the business shit just fucking clicked and I blew up.
I love that. The part is the most important about all this is that your transparency in what you're saying. Because the conversation that you and I are having, a lot of men don't have. We don't speak this way, right? Yeah. A lot of really great business people, they go home and then they don't realize. I had a pastor tell me this one time. He said, you know, when you go home, that's when your second job begins. Really your first job. But
it should be your main one.
It's your main job. But, you know, you left the way that you support your family. But when you walk in that door, and especially if you have kids, you can't sit on the couch. You know, I came from an immigrant family where that happened. You know, my dad would come home, he wouldn't help with anything. So we come from a different generation.
Yes,
However, that always isn't the most healthy things that you learn, right? Just because we saw that doesn't mean that it's right. As a man and as a whole, for us to be able to assist our partners, especially with the kids, because the kids, they don't listen, they see, they watch. So we're really trying to protect them and their future relationships too.
And how they go about it,
and how they go about it, you know. You mentioned something a little while ago about, you know, are people just taking off my plate? And it's, I think about this, our plate's full for a reason, right? Our plate is full for, we're not even going to eat everything on our plate. It's so that other people are probably going to eat off my plate anyways, whether it's my kids or my wife or family member. Anybody is going to eat off your plate. Front facing, you talk a lot about business, you have courses, you obviously run a very successful business, and then you mentioned your family a little bit. So I'm kind of curious, Alex, your followers or people that watch you, what's something you wish people knew about you that they don't know about you?
That's a tough one, because I'm a pretty open book. I'm transparent. Oh man, it's tough. Like I said, I'm pretty transparent. Going all into social media, I told myself I was gonna be transparent. I'm an open book. So I really, there's not much that I have that I say, hey, I want you guys to know that you don't know. Like I'm talking all the way from, I was illegal up until like 12 months ago. I just got a green card. Like I'm an open book. I mean, the one thing I haven't talked about, you know what, the one thing I haven't talked about is, I talked about today with that friend on the phone, was that the last year has probably been one of my toughest years personally, in my personal life. And yeah, it's taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot. All I'm going to say is that definitely life is a lot harder than, we're all going through stuff. We're all, like you said, we're all going through that. It just comes back to what you said, like we just don't talk about it. But I think to summarize that point is, all the things that you're running away from, you need to go take care of those things. And whatever it is, I said this to this person on the phone, and they were going through the same thing I was, and they said, hey man, I can see it through you, blah, blah, blah. And just that, like, take that from me is, even if you, like you said, it could be a perfect life, it could be, it's not. There's things that you're running away from. And I was myself, like everything was figured out, and you know, the business, like I got to achieve levels that I never even dreamed of, if I'm being very honest. Like I'm getting to do things, and I even told him, like, even I've made money in the last few weeks that I, you know, never thought I could make in a year, and I made in 4 weeks, you know, all this other shit. But then again, that's like I said, things caught up to me that I was running away from. There's always certain things that we're running away from, and that you need to stop ignoring, and those things caught up to me in the last year. And it's obviously personal stuff that I can't disclose, but it's been one of the toughest years. And all I'm saying is, anybody watching, I can promise you there's things that you're running away from. Stop whatever you're doing, go attend to those things, even if it takes you losing your job or whatever it is, because the more you let it build up, at some point in your life, you're gonna have to face those things. And then again, sometimes it takes you starting from scratch as a person, and it doesn't mean you're a bad person. Like I feel like I've done a lot of things right. A lot of the things that I was ignoring, you know, would add up to, you know, scratch off a lot of those good things you did. All I'm saying is, they just take it from me, and it's like, I'm only 33 years old, and you know, there's already a lot of things that I could go back to. I'm not saying I'm a horrible person and all that, but just certain things that you're gonna look back and it's like, fuck man, I should have just took care of that and handled it and figured it out and kept going. But you know, like I said, I know that a lot of us, you know, I've never done any drugs, but I know a lot of people out there just rather rather put that Band-Aid on it. And we all do it at a certain extent. Like for me, it might have been like going deeper into business, might have been going deeper into the gym, might have been, it's something. We all use some kind of crutch, some kind of Band-Aid. Put a Band-Aid, a cover on that, and continue to go and succeed in all the other things. But that shit's coming with you, man. Like it's not going. And to me, like I said, even you have to tackle those things, do the right thing, wake up every day, forgive yourself, and then like you said, it's a battle every day. Not just in business, in the personal life. And for me, it's like you go in spurts, and for me, I'm going in the spurt, like in different spurts of like, you go heavy in business, a lot of times we lack on a personal, and for me, I'm making that switch on a personal level, and I'm gonna go deep and as hard as I can on that, and be the best person I can be, not for myself, but for everybody around me. And yeah, man, that's just that's the one thing that I don't think I talked about at all. It's the first time I'm talking about it, and it's hard. I have a planner. I write all my shit down every morning, like what I'm gonna do, and you know, I don't have 10 Lambos anymore. I have like, I want to be a good husband. I want to say something nice to my wife today. Like it could be stupid, but it's like those are the things that are gonna get me there. And I screw it up sometimes. Like I come home and I don't do the things I said, and it's like, you know what, fuck it. I look at my planner at night. It's like, I screwed up today. I write it down again. I try again tomorrow. Get up, forgive myself for it. The biggest thing is that when I just forgive myself for it and then try again. Now I come to realize, and I've told all my guys in the group, it's like, listen guys, like you don't get it one day, doesn't doesn't mean you stop the next day. And it's like, I'm here to tell you, like, this shit ain't over until you die.
Forgive yourself. That is so powerful. I think that those two words alone will change a lot of people's lives if they give themselves permission to forgive themselves. It's something that I've personally worked through as well, because I think it's difficult, especially when you're responsible for everything, whether it's your family, even if it's your parents as they get older, your siblings, you feel indebted to certain family members who've helped you, right? Forgive yourself is such a powerful statement, especially for men, because looking back, you know, the one thing I tell a lot of people in the day and age that we live in, look, we're creating information here, right? And I try to give the perspective. You realize that your great-grandchildren one day will be able to say, oh my gosh, I could go look up great-grandpa Alex. Let me see what he did. I wish. Can you imagine, Alex, if you and I could go search up our great-grandfather, our great-great-grandfather, and let's say we're going through a challenging time in our life right now, and we were able to just bring it up, and I can hear my great-grandfather talk about a topic, and the connection that I would have to him, even though I never met him, and he was going through something difficult, and I needed to hear him say, forgive yourself. How much that would just change the trajectory of your life. So what you just said is powerful. Your great-grandkids are going to watch this one day and be able to look up great-grandpa Alex. It's interesting. I do wish everybody would achieve this level of success, because then they'll realize the feeling, I don't feel anything anymore, right? You don't feel anything. There's only so much stuff. Money is great. I talk about this a lot with especially high achievers and people who've made it in podcasts about, yeah, it's great. You do want to have nice stuff. That's why you work hard. You want to enjoy. Don't feel bad or shameful if you do have nice stuff. But definitely, money is about giving you the freedom to be able to do the things you need to. And it also is a great tool in case you are in a difficult spot. There's a saying, if you could write a check for it, it's not a problem, right? Maybe you can't, take the cancer away fully, but guess what? My family member needs help immediately. I can fly them to the best clinic in the world and not worry if my insurance is going to cover it, because you could write the check for it and then it's going to get taken care of. You don't have to worry about the medicine, the prescriptions, and all the things that are extremely expensive right now, right? Or caretaking, or, who's going to watch my kids while I'm gone because I could have somebody do this, or just free your time up. It's those things that the ambition is really for.
Yeah, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I didn't want to forget this one. Like I said, people see all the material things and all that, and it just reminded me, like I said, I can clearly think and remember of a situation like that, of why I wanted to be where I'm at. When I was telling Esteban earlier, of when my wife, we had our first kid, and then she found out we're having twins, and she cried when she was going to tell me. And finding out the reason why she cried, it just fucking tore me up, dude. And I think until this day, subconsciously, that's still there. Being the person she's been for me, not just as a wife, as a person. You want to know why she was crying? It goes back to what you just said. I had to figure some things out, but we couldn't afford when go from 1 kid to 3. She thought I was going to flip out because of the money. Man, that's deep. Like, that shit just gives me chills. Like, as a man, like, that just killed me, because I'm like, fuck, man, I thought I had figured some things out, and it humbled me. It's like, my wife, she was afraid that I was going to flip out because you were going to go from 1 to 3, and because of the financial situation that we're in. And it's not to say that we were doing bad, but yeah, I was scared myself. I had to call everybody in the book to let them know that I was going to go from 1 to 3, and then I didn't know how I was going to do it. And that's the type of stuff you're talking to me. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about, and I think that's what you're relating to. That's a bigger chunk of what motivates me to continue to grow as far as making more money. Like you said, how many kids do you have? To have 7 kids if you want to. Have 10. And if you don't want to have more for other reasons, that's fine. But just because there's no money, like, that's the freedom that I've been chasing till this day, and I continue to chase, even though I have that freedom. And then it goes above and beyond that. Like you said, like I said, my wife quitting her job and not having to go work when you still have 3 kids to take care of, and a lot of things like that. So that's really, like I said, why all the material stuff, I feel like it's just easier to, it's not taking anything, so it's like, yeah, I don't mind the habit to go for a ride for once every couple months. To me, that's why I said all of that is fat. The Lambo, the trucks, if there's fat that needs to be cut, that's the first shit that's going. Like, I really don't care.
Yeah, the one thing about fat that's true is, even if you were to lose it all, right, it finds its way back. Right? So even if you were to lose everything, so to speak, in business, the great thing about this is knowing you're going to make it back.
You're 10 times harder, man.
10 times harder. So even if it were to all go, which is probably one of the greatest things to happen, any business person that I've ever talked to on a high level or small business, everybody's lost gone through extremely challenging times. Yeah, whether it's personally, financially, or in business, right? And if you haven't, it's almost like you're not welcome into the club if it's been easy, right?
Yeah, man.
So you almost want it to be hard. It's the comeback. It's the chip on the shoulder that gives you that. You actually answered my third question with your honesty. And my third question was going to be, what keeps you going on the hardest days when you feel like everything is against you? What keeps you motivated? But I don't need that answer because you came up with it already, your family. And that's a very deep thing, is to realize as a man that, like, am I leaving my family in a good place? Am I doing what's right? Is every decision good for my children? Especially when you look them in the eye every single day, or they ask you for something. Or if you've been in that place, I've been in that place where my kids ask me for something and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's figure this out, right? And it's like, it breaks your heart. And especially earlier in my days with my older kids, there were times where they'd ask me for something really simple and I couldn't. I remember this one time, like, wanted this little, like, styrofoam sphere that was like $2, and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I in a place in life where I can't even get this? And you feel terrible,
dude.
like,
it's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. The smallest things, like, I have a really soft spot for my kids. Like I said, my wife and my kids have really taught me. They've helped me find a lot of all those things that as men, especially me growing up with my dad, like, you don't cry, you don't talk about that shit. You get smacked around, you talk about that, like. But just being around my wife and letting her guide me through that part of life. My kids have helped me find spots in my heart that it's like, man, like like you said, that something as simple as the other day with my son, it was Christmas, whatever they sell them in school, and it was like, they give him a thing and it's like, hey, you're gonna go to the shop tomorrow, you're gonna be able to buy gifts for whoever you want. And his mom was like, hey, you know what, you got 20, because it was like $1, $2 things, and it's like, hey, your mom's like, here, he got $20. And then she got in the shower, and then him started writing the list. He wanted to get something for grandpa, he wanted to get something for grandma, he wanted to get something for both grandmas and his mom, and he wanted to get my wife a necklace, like his twin brother, twin sister, me, and just, dude, it added up to like $43. And it's something so simple, dude, but they're just seeing his face when I told him, like, hey, dude, like, everything added up to 43 and you got 20. And they're just seeing his, dude, I fucking immediately fucking broke. When I'm like, dude, I got you with the, he's like, what am I gonna do? And I was like, oh man, that should just, and it's something so simple, but like I said, and you look at it in the grand scheme of things and it's like so simple, but it's like, man, that should just kind of sparked me up again. It's like, man, dude, I don't want him to have that feeling. Like, and I let her sit there and I was like, I don't know, dude, you gotta figure it out. He's like, well, I'll start by, taking my stuff out, and I don't know, I gotta get a job or something. And you could just tell it tore him up, man. And by the time I was like, fuck, I gotta be strong on this one. As soon as my wife got out the shower, I was like, man, it's added up to 43. He's like, what are you gonna do? And he's like, you already broke, didn't you? And I was like, no. And again, as usual, the head of the household, she came up with solutions. Like, all right, listen, so he's gonna let you borrow $20, $23, and then you're gonna pay him back, but he's gonna a couple jobs for you. And he's like, all right, that's perfect. I'll get to keep everything, and I'll do a couple jobs for him, and I'll be able to get everything for everybody. And I was like, all right, man, that's a good solution. But I wouldn't have the heart to get, and it's something so simple, but like you said, and I have the ability to do that. But like you said, there's times where our parents, I'll be honest, I never got to the point where I wasn't able to afford anything like that for them, but my parents did. And I think that's my biggest fear. That's tough.
That was a good lesson learned, though, for your son, because it's not so much what we leave for our children, it's what we leave in our children. If they are, how old's your son?
He's turning 6 in 4 days.
So he's 6, right? So in 5 years, he'll be 11. 5 years after that, he'll be 16. The reason I use 5-year increments is because I always think about this with my kids, is that I have a 13-year-old daughter. Out of all my kids, one of them's 13. And I think, wow, she's going to be 18 in 5 years, right? So I'm constantly thinking of the man that I need to be in 5 years, so that when she's going through what she's going through in 5 years, I'm that man already. Because if I got to turn it on when she's 18 and she's going through some stuff at 18, it's too late. I'm not that man already. So you got to work on, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying us as men, we have to work on who we need to be in 5 years. We need to start working on that right now, so that when that happens, you're ready for that. Yeah. So our kids are basically time travelers. That's how I look at it for me. I'm already traveling in time into the future, knowing that even after I pass, my kids will still be here, and they're a reflection of who we are and the beliefs that we've instilled in them, right?
Yep.
So it's not, for them, it's not like giving them anything, because they should earn this on their own.
Yeah.
It doesn't help them if you give it to them.
No, and that's kind of what I mean too, by I definitely want to be around people like yourself, that you have year ahead of me, and those things are the ones I want to follow. Business, absolutely, I want to learn more business. I want to learn, but I think the biggest thing is it's like, what person do I have to become to? I've said it before. Was it another meetup we had with somebody that Esteban hooked us up with? So, what do you want from me? I was like, dude, I want nothing from you. I literally just want to see what type of person you had to be. I'm just fascinated recently with being like, what person do I have to evolve to be at that level and continue to be a good person and continue to grow in the business? You know, like I said, I want to continue to grow in business, but I don't want to lack on the person I have to be. Exactly what you just said. I don't want to lack in the person and the dad I have to be by the time I need to be that dad. If that makes sense. Like, I don't want to, be elevated in business and then I got my kids. I don't even know how to act when I have a daughter. I don't know. She's going to be girls or something different. I don't know what answer to give her. I don't know what example to set by the time she needs it. To me, like I've told my team, the business needs nothing to me if I can't be the man or the dad or the husband that I need to be in that time. In my head, all of this shit just gets discredited. Like, it means nothing. It makes me want to get rid of all of it. And that's the transition that I'm making right now. What person do I have to become? What dad, what husband do I have to become to be ready for those moments? And it's coming fast. Julian, he's growing in different. Right the other day, he's like, hey man, and it's crazy you say that, because the 5-year increment thing, he said that. He did the math. He's like, hey man, listen, it's like, I have this many birthdays until I'm 15 or 16. And by then I need to have a phone. I need to figure out how I'm gonna get a phone and a Lamborghini. And it's crazy you say that. 5-year increments here. He's already, it's like, and then I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm like, I don't even know what to say right now. And I'm like, I definitely, like I said, I need to be ready for those times, because the kids right now, they're light years ahead.
They know the information a lot faster, right? They know everything. They do everything faster. They get everything faster. They're friends. I mean, obviously with technology, they definitely put us in our place. We got to prepare for it. Well, hey, Alex, I appreciate your time today. I know we're going to do this again.
Absolutely.
I know your followers will really appreciate this side of you, because they'll be able to tap into something that maybe they needed to hear. They respect you already, and they needed to hear it from you. So thanks for sharing all that with us.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate you, and obviously, thank you for giving us the place to do it. And like I said, we're gonna make it a point. We're gonna do this once a month. So
love it. Thanks.
All right, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks so much.
No problem.